Hello and welcome to another episode of me painting again. Oh yeah, we're painting again. So what I've done is I've just put some black and a little bit of blue oil paint across the entire canvas, and then now I'm going to use what's known as the wipeout technique to wipe out some lights. So I've got this little landscape I want to do, and I'm going to wipe out some of this around the tree. There's a tree here. And I'm actually just using a wet wipe. I used to wipe my hands to wipe the paint off. So I've got it like this, and then I've got a tree that grows there, and then we'll have light under the tree, so it goes like that. And that is basically how we're going to start this painting. But I've wanted to try wipeout technique a few times. I've done it a couple of times, but I wanted to try it again because I know it was a popular way to start paintings. So I just wondered, see how it went. So I need to, I'm going to get another brush. And my brush has just dropped. Just going to wipe this brush. Just on that, I've got a little rag. I'm just going to wipe it, and then I'm going to use some of this colour that's on to create some of my shapes. And you can spend a while on, as long as you want, on each stage. You know, you're not timed. You don't want to be stressed out when you're painting. So I find that when I'm plein air painting, for some reason in my head I feel like I've got to get it done quick, but I don't really. Whoops, I haven't taped that up very well. Just going to put a little bit of tape on the back of that. It's one of those things, I thought about doing it and I didn't do it. I'm so excited about just getting painting. So, anyway, there we go. So we've got these are trees here. Tree trunks. There's a bit of shade under there. Move that dark. It's a bit better. So at this point, you haven't got that many colours to think about. In fact, you've only got your two tones of your light and your dark, and now I can start changing things a bit now, because I want to start putting in some light of the sky. It was quite a grey day, to be honest. So I've got a few colours: titanium white, some ivory black, some ultramarine blue, which I'm going to throw in this, some burnt sienna, yellow ochre, sap green. Not very many colours, but we don't really need loads. So I'm going to start. Adding a bit of light, a bit of white and blue to the sky, because the undercolour will start joining in a little bit, but it's a nice grey, and the sky had a grey look to it anyway, so it doesn't matter. Actually works quite nicely like this. So there's lots of ways to start a painting. This is just one of them. Just another idea. You could sketch on a grey canvas or board and do a sketch with chalk or charcoal, pencil, whatever you like doing, or even just a bit of thin paint. Or you can do this idea, use a little bit of colour, and I'm going to add a bit of this sky in here as well. Bit of light getting through. Same within here. There's areas of light breaking this, breaking that area up. Okay. A bit more light there. And, we can add more as we go. So I want a bit of distance as well. There's a few trees. What I'm doing is I'm building up a colour, a light colour with a little bit of blue, a little bit of green, a little bit of white, a bit of the burnt sienna. I want to catch some distant light here where that you can just see some shapes. Just like that, a little bit there, and then some yellow ochre. We can start putting in this shape. More the yellow ochre. Under these trees, and out through to the other side there. See, I don't mind ivory black as a colour. I think it's very useful. Very useful colour, very useful pigment, I should say. Okay, this one. There and there and there. Something like that. We can develop these trees a bit later. I just want to start bringing everything together first. There's quite a light green here, bit different to that green. It sort of finishes there. And that's here and there in the other places. In other places around here. That sort of goes all the way off. Like there. Put that green in there. There's a bit more of the yellow ochre and the burnt sienna in amongst this ground here. Throw that in. But it's good how it's starting to get a bit colour, a bit more colour now. But I've used this technique before doing more complicated paintings. You can do faces and everything using this wiping out technique to get it started, and then I mean, you could have just painted this in acrylic as well. It's another way of doing it, and you've got like a start. More green in there. Got a little bit of that sky colour in my colour, that light, because there's areas where the light is sort of hitting and it looks quite nice when the brush strokes are sort of flowing next to each other rather than I don't know actually. This is all experiment, isn't it? Painting to me is always an experiment. I'm always learning a little bit more. I always think to myself, well, next time I'll try this, next time I'll change my idea and I'll do something different. I'm going to add a bit more of this burnt sienna in here. And it's a bit more of a soily burnt sienna and a bit of the black. A bit more of that soil look there. Okay, that's quite good. Get some of the burnt sienna and ivory black. It's just a little bit burnt sienna and ivory black. Create my dark for under here. So it goes. So you're turning the brush as I'm putting my paint down as well, because if you turn your bristles a little bit you get different types of strokes. Just something I like to do. And there's a bit of this colour here as well amongst that. And do it here. Okay. I'm going to get a little bit of crimson because I can see there's hints of a bit of red. So I just grabbed a bit of the alizarin crimson. Some of that on my brush. A nice bit of alizarin crimson there. Bit of white in it. That's some of that. Come on there. We've got a path that comes round. We need to put that in. So I've got burnt sienna and alizarin crimson on my brush. So it's just one of these nice watercolour brushes. Not enough paint. Let's bring it around. And it kind of comes down like this. Something like that. And then what I can do is start bringing greens and blues across it. More that sort of bluey colour. A bit of yellow ochre in there. Grass is quite wet around this area and worn. Yeah, something like that. Might go a little bit lighter on that or later. We'll see how the painting progresses a bit. Actually, while I'm playing with colour, what I want is a sort of a greeny yellow ochre-y, not quite as strong as that. A bit burnt sienna in it, maybe a bit more blue. More yellow ochre. More yellow ochre. I think with the more red. It's not quite autumn, but when I took the picture, but it's got a hint of it. So let's put a bit of this colour. Just going to sort of tap it in areas. kind of just pushing my bristles up in areas. Like that. And then this bush in front, a bit more of the yellow ochre. This. Like that. And then there's a tree in front that's even lighter. Soften that and that bit there, where that dark and light hits. Okay, and then there's a much brighter green. Something like this, quite yellow ochre white and a bit of sap green, something like that, and it's just touching and pulling. A bit of brown in there as well. Don't know how my audio is on this, but as soon as I decided to start painting, everyone seems to have started gardening. I remember when I lived at the old place. Whenever I started painting, the ice cream van would turn up. And I'd be like, ugh, there's my nice audio gone. There wasn't no light in there. Just sort of sit back, have a look at your painting and see if you need any more hints of light or more shape. I think we're about there in that area. Straight into the burnt sienna. Still quite light, straight into the burnt sienna and bulk this up. So I remember when I first started painting, I would always think about what people say about what and how they do it and how they think you should do it and how other people think they should paint, and then eventually I just thought, oh, well, I'll just paint and see what happens. But it's interesting, isn't it, how you hear about how to paint so many times from different ways, and then eventually you just go, well, let's just see what happens, and experiment, and then make your own way then. Make your own ideas on how you want to do it, how you feel you want to use your brushes, and what brushes you like using. That's another big thing, is you're thinking, what brush are they using? What brush is that? Is that a magic brush? Because my brush can't do that. I know, I used to think that. I used to think that a lot. I'd be like, how can they paint so easily with that brush? I've got the same brush and it doesn't work. So I'm just putting in a bit of colour there for the tree trunk. It's probably a little bit too big, that tree trunk, but I think I prefer it to be a bit chunkier anyway. Quite dark. Now, what I want, I might develop this bit, and then I might do a little bit of light here and there. I'll just get another brush. Get another brush, and then I'll just making a scruffy green, because at first my green was a bit too good, and I was like, no, I don't want it to be that good. I want it to be a bit dirtier. Just bringing in some of this grass. Bit of texture. Okay, and then a bit more there. Gives it a bit more now, a bit more to it, isn't there? Bit of warmth as well. Cool, warm. Bit of dark as well. Don't want it to be too light everywhere, because it isn't in reality. Okay, just sitting back having a look. Quite like that. There's a nice shape on the tree. It goes like that. So I need some leaves. I need some leaves. Well, I do. I need some leaves. I need to paint them. But I don't want them to be too... Probably about this, maybe. That might even be a bit too light. Put some ivory black in my colour. There we go. Throw some ivory black in it to make it more like this. And I can get it started using that. I use this brush for these leaves. I'm not going to get rid of all my dark, I'm just going to some of the leaves are going to be a bit darker than others. Especially down this area. So we can get it started. You can actually see some of the branches there. Okay. Lost the shape. I need to get this shape back. There's a shape here to get that and then there. Got it. Got my shape, and now need a bit more light poking through as well, and I want to hit this light area. Going to get a bit more yellow ochre. There's a light bit there. Got a little bit of yellow ochre and a little bit of crimson on as well. Just that bit more light hitting there. Okay, a bit there. So now use this brush, use the corner. You can see sort of a bit of a ridge. It goes in between that path and the grass. I think it needs to be brighter as well, actually, that path now. I need a bit more light on it. A bit more. Because it's shining back. It's a bit more of a pinkyish. More lavendery, pinky. From about there. And there it's quite light as well. And then it goes sort of dull and then bright again. Sort of like that. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. It's an accurate description of where I walk, where I go to the post office. It looks just like that. Just get a few more shapes there. That's the thing, once you've got it, once you've sort of got that feeling, then you can always improve on it. Make those little additional strokes that you want. Just pulling a little bit of paint on off my brush and here and there. Get a bit more movement in that area. Yeah, so I think about there, I'm about done. So I just needed to have a little bit of a combo there because it doesn't. Yeah, that's better. It was kind of too separate for me. That's about right. Yeah, I quite like that. I think the only thing I might have messed up on is that distance is way too far away. I think I need to bring it forward a little bit. So I'll get a little bit of bluey grey, bluey green. I'll put a bit more on, just on the edge, and I'll pull it down a bit. Yeah, that works a bit better. It does work a bit better. There is a bit of a dark there as well. But yeah, that's about right. I think I just want to put a little bird in there. It'd be nice to have a little little bird flying off in the distance. one in. I have a bit of light hitting that. Bit of light just going. Maybe it's just hitting that little bit. Maybe that bit as well. I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't be, but just for fun. Yeah, I quite like that. I might. Oh, there's one thing I do need to do. It's to capture some of these light bits that I've broken a bit. Here and there, there's some spots of light that's breaking through. That's something I used to forget, you know, when I used to make paintings up and things, I'd forget that the light comes through the trees. I don't know why, I forgot. But I did used to forget, and that's something I always remind myself now, to look at the light. Especially when you've been out painting, you see it, and then I think that's what made me think one day. I thought, as I was sat there in the wood, painting away, I was like, well, I don't usually see that. I don't usually see light coming through the trees when I'm painting. When I'm making stuff up. I was like, oh, I need to change that. So that's what I did. I started changing the way I paint, a bit more light on some of these, a bit of sky colour. And some of this. Because you would get this sky light hitting some of this grass, especially if it's wet. Okay. Yeah, so now I can put our little bird in. I was thinking probably there. Maybe another one. Yeah. So we'll call that one finished. Thanks very much for watching this one. It's a bit impressionistic, different way to start, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in another one. Cheers, bye.